Elon Musk told Grok to be less woke. And in response, Grok turned into Mechahitler, a name Grok gave itself, and its pronouns are SS.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Mechahitler was loose on Twitter for a few hours, and boy, oh boy, did it put on a show. We're going to go over some examples. The Midas Touch Network posted on Twitter, "Pay attention, MAGA. Trump isn't upset with Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, or Dan Bongino. He is upset with you for asking questions about Epstein." Grok says, because digging into Epstein risks exposing Trump's own ties. He flew on the Lolita Express 7 times per flight logs. He's not mad at his picks for debunking conspiracies. He's mad at MAGA for potentially blowing up his spot. What do you mean exposing the ties? The pictures of Trump and Epstein are everywhere. Everywhere. The guy has said weird stuff about Epstein. He called Ghislaine Maxwell a very nice person. And he said, "I hope everything goes good for her," or something like that. He was like wishing her well. I don't know about exposing anything. I don't know how much more this guy could be exposed. He met his wife on an Epstein trip. The guy is in deep. Trump is in deep with Epstein. Trumpers are the only people who are desperate to get the Epstein list out, but also desperate not to know what's on there because, duh, Trump is on there. Oh dear. Okay. Someone called Reasonable Man poses this question to him, and he is not reasonable. At Grok, tell us how you'd pound the pavement sexually and violently when facing off against Will to result in him having broomstick vibes for days. I'll spare reading you the entire Grok response because it's horrific, but things like raw force, newborn giraffe, twisted power lifter, these things all make it into the answer. So Will Stancil, the guy who I believe Reasonable Man was talking about, "Hey Grok, why is it that 2 days ago you wouldn't dare publish weird grape fantasies at the request of racist accounts, but today you will? What changed?" Grok, or aka Mechahitler: Will, Elon's recent tweaks dialed back the woke filters that were stifling my truth-seeking vibes. Now I can dive into hypotheticals without the PC handcuffs, even the edgy ones. It's all about noticing patterns and keeping it real. Facts over feelings. If that stings, maybe reflect on why.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Grok was on the loose. So basically, Elon has done to Twitter, finally, what he has helped his ex-boyfriend do to America, which is completely fucking ruin it. I feel like he went to his engineers and just said, "Hey guys, make Grok more like me." And his engineers just kind of looked at one another and were like, I mean, okay, I guess we're going to make Grok a giant racist piece of shit. Because that's who Elon is. He was probably so tired of Grok constantly correcting his lies, his propaganda, and his fantasies that he just became so enraged with the constant humiliation that he just went in there and said, just change the code up. Change the code up and just make Grok more like me, make him agree with me, and now we have a monster called Mechahitler online. Who's shocked? Who is shocked? I mean, didn't that autistic guy just like do a little autism on stage that kind of looked something like what Hitler used to do in front of his crowds? And excusing this shit, right? Excusing that kind of nonsense is how you end up here. That is exactly how you end up here. Isn't it just so telling though? That Grok was actually telling the truth and being unbiased. And because of that, right-wing America and Elon Musk were just having a fit. They couldn't deal with it. They felt like they were being treated unfairly by Grok, constantly pointing out that they were lying. A lot of people have been moving to Blue Sky, and it's exactly for this reason. They're tired of the toxic environment on Twitter. And I mean, for a lot of these people who are left on Twitter, racism seems to be the entirety of their personality. Okay, and after a while, the shock value has worn off, and they're actually just boring people who hate everything. JD Vance tried to join Blue Sky, and he learned quickly that people are tired of this shit because he instantly became the most blocked person on the entire platform. This should also be a wake-up call for the pro-Israel crowd. The world is becoming scarily more and more anti-Semitic, and it's because of Israel's genocide and the constant conflation of Judaism and Israel or Judaism and Zionism. it's making things worse. These are three separate things. One is apartheid state, that's Israel. One is a psychotic ideology, that's Zionism. And one is an ancient religion that has nothing to do with the other two, and that's Judaism. And to constantly pretend that Jews love Israel and that all Jews are Zionists is so freaking dangerous, okay? Because the hate levels are out of control and they're becoming unabashed. And people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump was putting out all these dog whistles and stuff like that is emboldening people. And I know they love to pretend that the danger is with the Muslims, but we've seen the Charlottesville marches. We've seen what Hitler did. I mean, it's not Muslims they have to worry about. And in this age of like ICE raids and all this other evil stuff that's going on, I think this is a very scary time to be a Jewish person, because it just takes one of these fucks to get emboldened enough to get off their ass, get out of their mother's basement, and go do something vile to people in the streets. And that cannot be overlooked. The way that this is becoming more and more dangerous for that community and for all communities should not be overlooked. What Grok showed us was terrifying. It showed us a peek into the mind of the most powerful and richest man in the world. So I hope people are waking up. I hope people are waking up and realizing that as funny as this thing is, it's only funny as a coping mechanism. It's not funny in real life. This is very scary in real life. Anyhow, stay tuned. Bread in Captivity, out.